brothers. We're happy and we're singing and we're colored. Give me a high five.
What's going on, you guys? It's your boy Joe Castro, aka Philly Fresco, here with my brother from another that just picked a horrible team, my guy Big Game James, man. And it is another episode of Best of Enemies. We gonna get into this, man, because both teams are good.
Into it. Yeah,
both teams are good. We talked about this. We talked off camera, and this feels good. The NFC East is no longer, getting poo-pooed on. So we're gonna talk about this, but at the end of the day, the Eagles are the class of the NFC East, so it's gonna be fun.
I don't know if they're the class, but they doing their thing. I'm gonna give y'all props. Y'all doing your thing. I don't know if y'all the class of the NFC East, but y'all on top right now, so I can't talk.
So we'll start there, I guess. We'll start with the Philadelphia Eagles. I guess we go back to Indianapolis. I talked about it last week. We did struggle. We won, though, right? This game, again, it was kind of a struggle, but again, we win. It was Aaron Rodgers was old school Aaron Rodgers for a while, big in part to our defense just not playing well. I mean, there's really not much you can say. Obviously, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson gets hurt. That hurts the defense a lot, but at the end of the day, the defense just didn't look how we wanted them to look in the first half. In the second half, they were getting a little bit better, getting after the quarterback a little bit more. Still not what you want to see. But offensively, Jalen Hurts did exactly what we needed Jalen Hurts to do. Jalen Hurts has been on a tear as of lately, in my opinion. And I know a lot of people are going to bring up his passing numbers. I'm sure that's going to be the first thing people bring up. But when you see somebody just leading his team, when you see somebody just dominating and taking over a game, whether it be with his arms or his legs, it's something you have to take notice of, and it's definitely something you have to, give him his flowers for. And Jalen Hurts has looked incredible over these last couple of weeks. So I'm excited about this Philadelphia Eagles team. It obviously wasn't the easiest of wins, but I think it says a lot about this team. I think that the Eagles team fighting through a lot of these, we talk a lot about the Cowboys, and we talk a lot of junk about the Cowboys when they go through dog fights, but it is what it is. I know you guys probably feel it on your side as well. When you go through a dog fight, you learn a lot about your team. So we're learning a lot about our team, and I feel like from here, it should only get better. So I like what's going on with Philadelphia right now. We'll see what happens. Obviously, in the absence of Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, Reed Blankenship looked good. So we'll see what happens. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm feeling okay. It's all right. Nothing's to worry here, but I think we can get by it. So we look at the Cowboys. The Cowboys aren't 2-0 in the last two games, but you guys coming off a big win. So how are you feeling about Dallas? Talk to me about this most recent game. What are you guys learning about your squad?
I mean, we're feeling good. I'm gonna talk about Philly right quick before I jump on my Cowboys.
Oh, definitely.
I'm gonna give y'all props. I'm not gonna hate on no Philly. I'm not a hater. You should already know that, Joe. I'm not a hater. Y'all 10-1. Y'all are top. Y'all one of the top teams in the NFL. I'm gonna give Jalen Hurts his props. I'm not a hater of Jalen Hurts. I've never been, and you know that, Joe. And I said the deciding factor of this NFC East would be the quarterback position. I said that at the very beginning of the season. I said that the deciding factor would be the quarterback position. Dak is playing really good right now. So is Jalen Hurts. So that's going to be a hell of a matchup. And me and you both talked about this last year when we said these are going to be classic battles with Jalen Hurts and Dak Prescott for the next few years, right? You thought it was going to be Carson Wentz. But he tailed off, and he is what he is. He's no longer a guy in the NFL. But if you're looking at the NFC East, these battles are going to be real between Jalen Hurts and Dak Prescott. These are going to be battles that you're going to be looking forward to every single year when they play, because Jalen Hurts brings something to the table. Dallas Cowboys have to respect Jalen Hurts. When he comes out in that field, he can throw the ball and he can run on you. Okay, that's the truth. Okay, so you can't sit there and say, "Oh, he's just a running quarterback." No, I can't. I'm not going to do that because I'm not going to disrespect Jalen Hurts like that. He can throw the ball, okay? He can run the ball, and Dallas is going to have to come up with a good-ass game plan in the second matchup to stop him. But at the same time, you have to respect Dak Prescott. He is 7-3 against those Eagles, and he does bring a lot to the table. Yes, he doesn't run anymore, but he's a damn good quarterback, and his stats show against the Eagles, and since what he's been doing since he's came back in the lineup, okay? Dallas is averaging almost like 30-something points a game. The offense has exploded since he's been there. They haven't scored below 21 points since he's been in the lineup. So it's going to be a great matchup. I'm excited for it. Obviously, we have games before that, but I definitely can't wait for that matchup, Joe. Cowboys, Eagles, especially if we're all healthy. We've both been winning. That's going to be a tremendous matchup, and I'm going to be excited to watch it.
If it matters, that's the only thing. And I'm not saying that as, an Eagles fan trying to boast and pound my chest. It might come down to, excuse me, it might come down to the fact that we win these next couple games. We don't have to worry about that game, and we're not really going in there, full clip, right? We're not starting every single body. At the end of the day, it is going to probably matter to this team, to this organization, to this coaching staff. They've shown that it means something to them for division games. And if we lose one game, then it definitely matters, right? There's no, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. We need to win all those games if we want the number one spot in the NFC, which is great. The crazy thing about it, and we said this kind of off camera or off live, it's going to become the NFC East versus the AFC. Like, that's really what it feels like, because I feel like if the Eagles don't win that number one spot, it's not going to be the Vikings that sneak up. It's going to probably be you guys. It's probably going to be the Dallas Cowboys. You said it. Dak Prescott has come back, and there has been little things that I can look at and nitpick and talk junk to you about, right? But I've said it before. We got to look at these Dallas Cowboys and be realistic about, and even the Giants. I know the Giants are coming off, a tough loss. It is what it is. But the Giants have won games that they might not have necessarily should have won, right? So I don't want the Eagles to go into any of these games thinking it's going to be sweet, but we might get to that point and it might not matter. I like what I'm seeing out of Dak. I mean, look, I don't want to ever hate on a person, right? I hate the team he plays for, but when you watch what he's doing and what he's been able to do, obviously just force feeding, it feels like CD Lamb, but that's a topic for another we'll talk about that in a little bit.
Open. I mean, you talking about force feeding. Who's your guy? AJ Brown? Y'all ain't trying to force feed.
I mean, we got not really. No, we're not force feeding him.
Really?
That's the difference. I see it a lot. I see, and I'm glad we can get here, because I see it a lot. I see a lot of people of comparing AJ Brown to CD Lamb, and I understand that on paper, a lot of people go into the game thinking AJ Brown's our number one guy. We have 4 or 3 different people over, I think, 40, 50
AJ Brown's not your number one guy.
Like that. He's our number one guy in theory, but he's not. He's not necessarily. You look at AJ Brown.
Don't do that.
Look at AJ Brown. Hold on.
All right, go ahead.
Look at AJ Brown, right? Look at AJ Brown's targets compared to CD Lamb's targets and the disparity between the number 2. When it goes to number 1, all right, so we talk about AJ Brown and then Devontae Smith. There's probably like a 10, maybe 15 difference. And I don't have the numbers in front of me. I'm sure somebody can look it up. But there's like 10, 15 difference in number of targets. When you look at CD Lamb to number 2, it's a big difference. It's a big difference. That's what I'm saying. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm not hating on CD Lamb for it. I just don't think that it's an issue. I don't think it's really a comparable thing, because I don't think that they're really utilized in the same way. So when people bring up that CD Lamb is, this, I do feel he's being force fed. I do believe that he's your best option at the wide receiving position.
He's not
right
being force
fed.
He's open. He's being a dog right now. How you gonna say he force fed and you got to give your dog the ball? Huh?
I agree with that. I agree with that 100%.
Before the season, you was talking Devontae Smith, wooty. But when y'all got AJ Brown, you did cartwheels and backflips and doing all AJ Brown this. I've been watching your Twitter. AJ Brown. So stop. Don't sit there and tell me on this show right now that, AJ Brown, in theory, he's our number one guy.
Realistically, we can look at the numbers. I'm gonna bring up the numbers. I'm gonna pull up the numbers, because what I'm saying, this is what I'm saying. I'm not saying that he's not our best receiver.
So right now, if you're saying who's your guy right now, AJ Brown or Devontae Smith, who are you gonna tell me?
As far as what? What do you mean? Because but that's what I'm saying. There's different uses. There's different. It depends on the situation. It depends on the situation. It really does. I would go to either of them. I feel confident in Dallas Goedert.
I don't believe you.
I feel just as confident in Dallas Goedert as I do AJ Brown.
I didn't say Dallas Goedert.
But what I'm talking about is
Smith
targets.
or AJ Brown. Receivers. Who's your go-to guy?
If we're just going in blind, I'm definitely
Yes
going with
or
AJ
no?
Brown.
Just-
Obviously,
Okay,
I would
thank you.
obviously,
Yeah,
but
all right.
honestly, the past couple weeks, I'm probably going Devontae Smith. AJ Brown hasn't
Stop
looked
your
great.
lying, bro.
It's the truth.
Lying.
AJ Brown has 2 fumbles in the last 2 weeks. So I mean, right now I'm feeling a little bit more comfortable with Devontae Smith, which backs up my point. Which I'm saying is that you have to force feed CD Lamb. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing.
Force feeding him.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing.
You see Michael Gallup in that Thanksgiving Day, dog? I know you watched it. Did you watch that game against Thanksgiving? You know you did.
Michael Gallup does all right. He has like what 5 for 60 a game, if that.
So Michael Gallup is just all right now.
Tell me their targets. That's what I'm trying to make. That's the point I'm trying to make.
He came in with a torn ACL. He's just coming back. You're going to say Michael Gallup was all right? He was turning up in that game against Giants. You see those catches he was having? Don't do that.
He had some good catches. He had some good catches against backups.
CeeDee Lamb that game. CeeDee Lamb was killing the matchups. If you have a matchup in the game, I think you know this as a person who knows the game. If you have a matchup and you're exploiting this matchup up and down, don't you keep going to it? CeeDee Lamb was killing them. So why not keep going to him?
But this is why I say force feed. This is why I say force feed. This is why I'm saying force feed. Look at the targets, right? You look at Devontae Smith. Thank you, Philly Eagle 843. I appreciate you bringing that up. And somebody bring up the Cowboys. I want to know who's the number 1 in targets and number 2 in targets for the Cowboys. Because I know that it's a big disparity. Our disparity is 7. There's a difference of 7 targets between AJ Brown and Devontae Smith.
Okay, I'm gonna pull.
That's not that much. So I can't tell you that one is that much entrenched than the other one. It's the truth. It's the truth. Numbers don't lie. I'm trying to show you the numbers. I want to see what the Cowboys.
I'm pull up my numbers. You're right. Why you talking?
I want to see what the Cowboys, because I know. I'm telling you, man. It's different, and it's not a bad thing. I'm not trying to hate that they, are.
You are
I'm not
hating.
even saying that. Maybe force feed is the wrong word. Maybe force feed. He's getting open. Okay, I'll give you that. He's getting open, but he's the only one. So he's the only one that's getting the ball.
Let me
I thought that sounds worse than saying
what
force
was the targets? What was the targets with you? 86
Ours
targets
was
Brown.
86 for so what's CeeDee Lamb versus his number 2?
98.
Compared to who?
Big discrepancy to AJ
But compared
Brown.
to who? But no.
Brown.
What I'm saying is, no. I'm not saying to AJ Brown. I'm not saying to AJ Brown. No. You're mishearing me. I'm saying the discrepancy between your number 1 wide receiver in targets to your number 2 wide receiver in targets. That's why I'm saying force fed. So I'm trying.
Been hurt.
But that's fine. What I'm asking, you've had other wide receivers all year.
Noah Brown, bro.
I don't care. But my point exactly is that you don't have anybody else. So you are force feeding CeeDee Lamb. So then tell me the second leading receiver. Who's your second leading target wise?
Okay, let me pull it up. Give me a second.
I want to know who your second leading receiver is target wise.
It's probably let me see if is it Gallup or is it Noah Brown? Let me pull it up. 41 targets. I think it's
Joe
Noah
Cook
Brown.
in the books. People said Joe Cook in the books.
Bro,
I'm trying to give you an actual. I'm trying to give you an actual.
Noah Brown and Michael Gallup had the same amount of targets at 41.
That's a huge discrepancy. That's what I'm trying to say. Are you seeing what I'm saying? Are you seeing what I'm trying to say?
Is Devontae Smith better than Noah Brown?
Way better. But that's not what I'm saying. So you're making my point for me. You're making my point for me. You guys are forcing CeeDee Lamb because you don't have anybody as your number 2. That's what I'm trying to say.
Right.
There's a 50 targets, James. That's what I'm trying to say. AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, they're all within 20.
Off an ACL.
That's not the point that I'm making.
That's
not the point that I'm making. The point is, but that's not a point.
A big discrepancy.
So are you saying Michael Gallup number 2 is better than Devontae Smith? 100% healthy.
I'm gonna say 100%.
He's not better than he's not better than Devontae Smith.
Look at his
Michael Gallup is not better than Devontae Smith.
What does Devontae Smith do better than Michael Gallup?
Everything. He runs routes better than Michael Gallup.
Only thing that Michael. Yes, he does. Numbers.
Yes, he does. Right? Watch the tape, bro. Watch the tape. There's no way you're telling me that Devontae Smith does not run better routes than Michael Gallup.
You a liar.
There's no way you're telling me that Devontae Smith does not. That's crazy.
Devontae Smith ain't better than Michael Gallup full health. No, he's not. No, he's not.
That's crazy.
The numbers show
That's
it.
crazy.
Show me the numbers.
What numbers? What numbers? In a pass-heavy offense, we were a run-first offense last year. What do you mean?
So what?
He broke our rookie record.
Devontae
Smith is right there with AJ Brown, who you are telling me is better than everybody on your team.
Michael Gallup can go deep routes. He can go middle routes. He can toe drag swag. His hands is ridiculous.
You got to see Devontae Smith then, because he does all that and he does it daily. He does it consistently.
So does Gallup.
CeeDee Lamb and Michael Gallup, them boys drop more passes than they catch.
I said Michael Gallup, Devontae Smith. I'm taking Michael Gallup over Devontae Smith any day. You crazy?
That's crazy. I would never take Michael Gallup over Devontae Smith. Devontae Smith has proven it.
Nothing in him. And what has Michael Gallup had and proven it?
That's crazy. Michael Gallup hasn't proven anything. He's proven that he can get hurt.
Okay.
He proven he can 66 catches ain't nothing. 66 catches.
1,100 yards. 1,100
yards. In his rookie year. My boy did that in his rookie year. Devontae Smith is what Heisman did Michael Gallup win? What Heisman to get Michael Gallup?
About no college, dude.
We talking about full body of work. We talking about who better. You're not taking a Heisman winning wide receiver over Michael Gallup.
You sound silly.
That's crazy. I would never take Michael Gallup. So would you take CeeDee Lamb over AJ Brown?
What is Devontae Smith's numbers now right now? Give me his numbers right now. His second year.
I'll bring it up right now. I ain't scared of that.
Yeah, pull him up.
All right, he got 56 receptions. Excuse me. He got more catches than your boy. Than your boy even got targets. 609. 609.
Okay,
that's not bad. That's respectable as the number 2 guy.
For 1,100 yards.
Who?
Michael Gallup. I'm about to pull him up.
It's cute. That don't mean nothing. We'll see what happens towards the end of the year. We the number 1 running offense. That's what we do. We run on people.
Every time I
you guys are the first people to touch. You guys are the first people to bring up. You guys are the first people to bring up that we are a running team. And then once we talk about that affects our wide receivers. No.
We ain't talking nothing else. You said Devontae Smith was better than Michael Gallup. Michael Gallup's first year, 33 catches for 507 yards, 15 yards a catch. His second year, 112 targets, 66 catches, 1,100 yards, 16.8, 6 touchdowns. The next year, 59 catches, 843. So your second year with Devontae Smith, what he got again? 600 yards?
So they basically even. He had a better rookie year. My guy had a better rookie year. Devontae Smith had a better rookie year, and your boy had over 100 targets his second year. He's not going to get that. He's not going to get that. He's not going to get that.
You just said he was a number 1. You just said AJ Brown.
I didn't never say that. I said that he is. We don't have a number 1. We don't need a number 1.
Changing up the
narrative.
My whole point,
the narrative that I'm trying to make right now. The narrative that I'm trying to prove right now. No. The narrative that I'm trying to prove right now is that the Cowboys have no number 1. You guys want to force feed CeeDee Lamb and then tell us that he's way better than anybody we have. If we had to force feed one of our guys, he would kill y'all in numbers.
Okay, but we'll go to that here in a second. But you switched the subject. You said Devontae Smith was better than Michael Gallup. This is his second year. Hold up.
So Michael Gallup's your number 1?
Can I talk?
Go ahead.
Thank you. So your second year, Devontae Smith, you said, AJ Brown, he could be our number 1. He could be Devontae Smith too. So your number 1 has 50 catches for 600 yards. Our solid number 2, never been our number 1. Gallup has been our number 2 the whole time, always. Our solid number 2, his second year, 66 catches, 1,100 yards, 16 yards a catch, and 6 touchdowns. What is your guy at right now? Say that again.
He's right now. He's doing his damn thing. But you also got to look.
No,
you also have to look.
Look
at. I said it. I'll say it again. He's at 609 yards. 609 yards. 10 off of 56 catches. 10-yard per catch, 3 touchdowns.
So
I'll give you that. I'll give you that. Okay. But we also, but there's context to that. You can't just say that and then not say the context to it.
I'm telling you,
we also run the ball.
We run the ball.
That's not how it works, though. That's not how it works. That's not how it works.
You said Devontae Smith was better than Mike Gallup. I said no, and I just proved it.
You just proved that he had a better second year. Like he had a better first year,
could be a
so
number one.
and he had a better college career. So if we look at body of work,
first year, he had Amari Cooper,
and he has AJ Brown now. So it's like, what do you mean? We can say the same thing.
You said AJ Brown.
See, we can say the same thing. We can say the same thing. Is what I'm saying.
Number one. No, CeeDee Lamb was our clear number one. Amari Cooper was our clear number one. Michael Gallup was always our clear number two.
CeeDee Lamb trash. CeeDee Lamb drops more catches than he
trash.
CeeDee Lamb is trash. CeeDee Lamb, I ain't worried about CeeDee Lamb.
You want me to pull
I'm
up
not worried
drops?
about anybody on that.
Drops? You want me to pull up drops?
You can pull up drops.
Okay, I'll
pull up drops.
Okay, I'll pull up.
You can pull up drops. I'm not worried about it.
CeeDee Lamb got 5 drops. I'll pull up drops. Let's see how many AJ Brown got. I'm pull up.
I'm taking AJ over. I'm taking AJ over CD.
Sure you will.
I'm taking Devontae Smith over Gallup. I'm taking Dallas Goedert over all your tight ends.
Because you're a Philly
combined.
fan. Yeah, no,
but it's the truth.
All our tight ends.
You think your tight end? You think your tight ends are better than Dallas Goedert? You think Schultz is better than Dallas Goedert?
We got Hendershot. And we got Jake Ferguson, bro. You talking crazy, dude.
So you're taking your tight ends over Dallas Goedert.
Yeah, I'm taking all 3 of our guys over your one dude. Yes.
That's wild. Nah, I would never. Dallas Goedert probably got better numbers than your boy right now, and he's not even playing. So like,
what is it?
I really don't get it.
See, you talking about numbers? Pull up his numbers. Dalton Schultz got 33 catches. How many of your guys got at the main guy?
So Dallas Goedert, who's only played 9 games, right?
He's only played 11 games.
He's missed the last 2 games. He's missed the last 2.
He missed the whole year.
Okay, hey, all right. I worded that in a convenient way. I'll give you that.
Oh, you did. Yeah, I'll give you that. Yeah, like he missed the whole year. No, he hasn't.
He's missed the last 2 games, and he's got 43 catches. 544 yards.
He got 43 catches. Only missed 2 games, and my dude.
And how many your boy got?
Nobody got 33.
How many games he missed? How many games he missed?
Who, Dalton Schultz? He missed. Yeah. I think he missed 1.
So my guy got 10 more in 2 last games.
Who's your backup?
Maybe one less.
Who's your backup?
Jack Stahl, Grant Cowboys. We don't really got good backups. We ain't got really.
He ain't touching.
We ain't got really good backups, but we don't need him to. We don't need him to because you know what? You look at our wide receivers, and they all over 40.
Cowboys fans, Philly
we
fans,
winning. Yeah, we winning.
I'm winning this. The thing you're winning is 10-1, but I'm winning this whole argument today. I'm smashing you today.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
Yeah. There's no way that you're taking your wide receiver.
I am totally smashing you today.
CeeDee Lamb. You told me that. All you told me that is Michael Gallup had a better second year than Devontae Smith.
Yeah, he's better than Devontae.
Then you told me that his rookie year wasn't as good as Devontae Smith because he had a number 1 wide receiver. But then when I said Devontae Smith has a number 1 wide receiver right now, it wasn't taken into account.
AJ Brown was a number 1. You just said Devontae.
But you said it. But you said it, right? That's the theory. And I said in theory he is.
You should thwart what I say because you're the Philly fan. You root for Philly. So who's your number 1 receiver?
You're not listening to what the actual concept. You're not listening to what the context is.
Okay, you're right.
That's why I'm saying it should be, in theory, it should be AJ Brown. Like you said, when you asked me, but listen to the whole sentence. Listen to the whole sentence, James. Listen to the whole sentence. You said, you asked me, who is AJ Brown our number 1 guy? I said, in theory, he should be. But Devontae Smith is hanging right there with him. He has the same amount of targets. They're both getting open. So when you come into a game and your first thought is, okay, their number 1 guy is AJ Brown. We got to stop AJ Brown. But then you have a number 2 who is still getting getting close to amount of targets. That's a good thing. And that's why I said, bringing this all the way back, that your guy is force fed. Further proven by the disparity. Further proven by the disparity in the targets between your number 1 guy and your second targets. Your number 1 wide receiver has 50 more catches than your number 2 targets. That's what I'm trying to say. We're not force feeding AJ Brown.
No, that's not true.
AJ Brown was the only guy.
CeeDee Lamb has 64 receptions. Michael Gallup has 41. What's the discrepancy? 23 receptions, and Michael Gallup is coming back from an ACL. That's not a big discrepancy. You're reaching, bro.
No, you're looking at my guys versus your guys. We play totally different types of offenses.
I'm talking about
you're comparing our numbers.
You said the discrepancy. You just told
between
me
your number 1 and your number 2.
You're right. You're saying we're force feeding CeeDee Lamb. And I just told you the discrepancy from the receptions is 23 receptions. And our guy is coming back from an ACL injury. We
I
got
thought
our
you said it was
tight ends.
like you said it
No,
was like
the
80 something
targets.
versus 40.
No, I'm saying the targets were higher, 98 targets. But we're talking about the receptions. Michael Gallup has 41 receptions. CeeDee Lamb has 64. That discrepancy is not huge. My guy came back from an ACL injury. Your guys came back from no injury. Yes, you have a dual threat, but you also got to look at we do have the tight ends involved as well. We have 3 tight ends
So
that
do
have
we.
between 50 receptions between them. I don't know what your receptions have. Dalton Schultz has about 33. Jake Ferguson's has 14. And I think Peyton Hendershot has like 10. And they're growing every day. We play a lot of 12 personnel. We play a lot of 13 because Michael Gallup was still coming off the men. You understand what I'm saying? And we're not playing our rookie. So you got to understand that. We're not force feeding a CeeDee Lamb when a Michael Gallup has been very capable his whole career with Dallas. Look at his stats. He's been a very capable receiver. So at no time will we have to force feed one receiver and not relegate on Michael Gallup because he's an explosive receiver and he's proven it his whole career in Dallas, dog.
So I understand what you're saying as far as receptions, and I'll give you, I respect that. And if you look at the receptions on the Eagles side, Devontae Smith actually has 3 more receptions than AJ Brown. But my point, my overarching point was targets. And reason why my overarching point was targets is because he is your main guy by a wide margin. That's why I'm bringing up the targets. When you look at the targets for the Eagles, it is pretty healthily spread out. So that's why I'm saying if the Eagles were to force feed, and maybe that's not a good word, but maybe I got to find a different word. At the end of the day, if the Eagles were to force feed AJ Brown in the same fashion that that CeeDee Lamb is being in Dallas, then maybe we would see different numbers for AJ Brown, which he's not that far off from what CeeDee Lamb has anyways. And honestly, if you have 90, if you have 90 targets and only 60 catches, that's kind of worrisome on its own.
No, it's not worrisome. You got to look at, first of all, he doesn't have a lot of drops this year, so you can't say that. Let's be honest with you. If you're cooking in a game, we've been complaining in Dallas, Kellen Moore will not go to the receiver time and time again when the matchup is getting killed. He was killing them corners in Green Bay. Why do you not go to him? He's hot right now. You get him the ball, you feed him, he's hot. So when you see targets, that's not force feeding. That's saying this dude is cooking this man. So if you're playing the game of football or any sport, if you're cooking the man, don't you keep feeding him, Joe?
Yeah. But but that's what I'm trying to say. I'm not disagreeing. I'm not disagreeing though.
But that's not.
But that's what. Yeah. If you're the main guy, if that disparity is that big, like that's almost 50 different targets. That's 50 more targets.
His targets
to one person.
Up the last 3 weeks. He didn't have a 100-yard receiving game until Green Bay. So obviously, we were not force feeding a CeeDee Lamb. He did not have a 100-yard receiving game. He had a 100-yard receiving game against Green Bay Packers. He had 11 receptions. They were force feeding him because he was killing the matchup. Look at the last 3 games. He's been killing the matchups. So why wouldn't you give your top receiver, who is your number 1? There's no discrepancy in Dallas. CeeDee Lamb is the number 1. Michael Gallup is the number 2. So if your guy is hot in those games, Joe, why wouldn't you force feed him in those games? And so your numbers and targets are going to go up because according to the matchup, you're killing him. So you're going to go to a unhot receiver and your guy's killing this guy over here. Does that make sense to you, Joe?
No, I get what you're saying. Don't get me wrong. And I said it from the jump. I'm not saying it's a bad thing that he's your number 1. Just like I don't think that it's a bad thing that we don't have a clear-cut number 1 in Philly. Both of them are playing at a high level, and I'm cool with that. But my thing is, and my point is just that it's a different offense. It's a different offensive mindset. And to bring it to a different point, and maybe this kind of brings it to another, conversation a little bit, I think that gives the Philadelphia Eagles a little bit of a heads up on this division because there's multiple ways that the Philadelphia Eagles can beat you. And I think whereas you look at the Dallas Cowboys and it's going to take their defense, obviously playing their defense, their type of game, but it also takes the offense being able to get the ball to CeeDee Lamb. I don't know if I'm too afraid of anybody else. Your run game has looked good, but I also feel like Tony Pollard, if you're not getting Tony Pollard involved, it's not the same type of run game. So I think that one-dimensional type of thought process from Dallas, especially with their wide receiving core, is going to lead to us being a little bit ahead of them when it comes to the NFC and the NFC East in general. So, I mean, I think that's a good thing for us.
I'm just going to have to disagree with you because, I'm going to agree with you, Joe. If you're talking real shit, I'm going to agree with you all wholeheartedly. But right here, I can't agree with you saying we're one-dimensional. We're not one-dimensional. We don't rely on no CeeDee Lamb to get our offense cooking and going. And if you're saying Tony Pollard, no, Ezekiel Elliott just almost had a 100-yard game against the New York Giants. He had under 20 carries. What are you talking about the Giants? Okay, there wasn't no backups. There's 7.
They had a whole bunch of backups in there.
Okay, they had we beat them when they had starters.
Okay, back then, but I'm just saying, you're talking about this game. I'm just saying in this game, they had a lot of backups. So you're going to sit.
Okay, but we have a 1-2 combo. We have the seventh ranked rushing offense in the league at 138 yards a game. So we know how to run the ball. So we're not one-dimensional with one player. It's not just Tony Pollard. It's Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard. We can beat you both ways. We have tight ends. We can hit you in the short game. We got young tight ends. Yes, we do. We got 3 tight ends that can attack you. It's not we rely on CeeDee Lamb. I'm sorry, Joe. I can't agree with you. That's just like me saying a statement. You saying no. I can't agree with you. This offense does not rely on no CeeDee Lamb as being a guy to be able to move the ball. We have multiple facets of way we can attack you and beat you the same way you have. The only way you have a difference with us is Jalen Hurts is more of an athletic quarterback at this stage than Dak Prescott. That's where I'm going to say that the difference is. In my opinion.
So let me ask you.
Just my opinion.
Let me ask you a question. Okay. I respect that. Let me ask you a question. Does your winning hinge on the arm of Dak Prescott?
I'm not going to say not necessarily, because if we run the ball, it's a good thing. I just made a stat, okay? In our 3 losses, we threw 42 times, Joe. In our 8 wins, we threw 6 times, 26.5. So that tells me when we throw more, we don't win. You need to have that balance. You need to have the balance of let's run the ball. The last game when we just played the Giants, and even when we played the Vikings, we had more rushing attempts than passing attempts. The thing is, in my opinion, you signed Dak Prescott as a franchise quarterback, right, Joe? Stop trying to make the world prove that he's a franchise quarterback. You don't have to throw 40, 50 times a game to show he's a franchise quarterback, okay? It's okay if you threw 25 times. Nobody's going to knock him over here in Cowboy land. Oh, he's not a franchise quarterback. He's not throwing 50 times a game. He's throwing. See, they did that in the beginning. No, we're talking about winning. Dak is better when throws 25 to 35 times a game in my opinion. That's when he's his best. When we can get that run game involved, we can get that play action going, because that play action is everything, Joe, and you know that. When you can get that play action and suck that defense in, and you can that really opens up your offense. So you really want your run game. So the run game is better for us than Dak throwing the ball. So no, our offense ain't relying on Dak throwing the ball 20, 30, everywhere. No, it's the run game, Dak playing off of that, and then that's when I feel like our offense is better. And then when you couple our defense that can compound that, I think we're just a better team.
So I asked that question, and you kind of gave me a perfect answer, just because I think that it's then kind of hypocritical of Dallas fans to discredit our win against you guys because of Dak not being there. Not saying you do it. I just wanted you to say that without the pretense of me saying the game. So I just think it's kind of hypocritical for Dallas fans to take away our win when you state that, because I do agree with you. If I say it's one-dimensional, maybe that's a little bit harsh. But I think that the way that you guys win isn't necessarily just off of Dak. It's your defense and your run game right now, right? So
but we had Cooper Rush threw 38 times in that game and 3 interceptions, as I said before.
And Joe, it could have been Dak.
We throw the ball more, but Dak hasn't did that against y'all.
It could have been Dak. It
Is
could have
that
been.
it
I'm
could
just
have,
saying.
but it hasn't. But I'm saying,
I'm just
let's
saying.
keep it real. We're talking
It
about
could have
history.
been.
Has it? Has it?
I'm not talking about
Has Dak?
history. I never brought
Has
up
Dak?
history. You
Okay,
brought up
but
history.
Dak has a 3 interception. Dak have a 3 interception game against the Philadelphia Eagles.
Not yet. Not yet.
No, not yet.
Things are
right?
meant to change.
Has
Though
he owned?
there were things that have
Has he
happened this
owned the
season that have
Eagles?
never
Yes or
happened
no?
before.
Has he?
He has.
owned
Not
your
this
Philadelphia
Eagles
Eagles?
team.
Okay.
When has he played Chauncey Gardner-Johnson? When has he played Jordan Davis?
hurt.
When has he played? He hasn't played
Jordan
this
Davis
team.
is
When
not
he has
gonna make
when
the
has he
difference.
played a
You know
Jonathan
damn
Gannon's
well
team?
Jordan Davis is not going to make the difference in Dak Prescott in this game.
He
You know
hasn't
damn
played
well.
him. What I'm saying
It's
is
gonna-
this is a totally different team. Kaiser White. He's never seen Kaiser White. He's never seen,
Okay,
you
but
know,
you haven't seen
James
some of our
Bradbury
players
on
that-
the Eagles.
Okay, but you haven't seen some of the players that played against us. And it's not like when you go back to that game, if you look at the yard, we had more yards in that game. You did not dominate us. You killed us in the second quarter with turnovers. You got on our side of the field. You had a short field, and you took it down. You had 2 strong drives. The first drive when you took it down the field and you scored was that last drive when you had I'm going to go away from it. It was a 13-play drive. You had 11 runs in that drive. In my opinion, I'm not mad at that, okay? Listen, understand what I'm saying, Joe. I'm not mad at that. But in my opinion, I felt like your coaching staff, your team said, hey, we don't want to lose this game. So we're going to have to play this close to the vest. Let's do what we can do right now. We're running the ball. Let's stay with this. And I feel like they didn't have the confidence in Jalen Hurts to really say, let's throw the ball to win this game. Let's kind of keep it to the vest. If we can continue to run this game and win it this way, let's do it that way. That's the way I feel. I feel like when you play against us and you're at full strength and we're at full strength and we have our Dak Prescott, let's see. Because from what I've seen, when your team, and yes, you added a Jordan Davis, you added a Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. I get that. But at the end of the day, we've added players too. Understand that. At the end of the day, Dak has beat you guys considerably. This is where Jalen Hurts, in my opinion, the pressure is on Jalen Hurts this game, not a Dak Prescott, because Jalen Hurts has not beat Dak Prescott. So he has to show because he's playing some MVP caliber season. I can agree with that. He's playing lights out right now. Okay. But he's gonna have to prove in that game that he's the guy.
I respect that. And going back to kind of what you said, you now, you know, kind of rebuttal what you said about that 11-play drive, saying that they took it out of his hands. I can understand the optics of that, but I ask you the same way that you asked me. If you know something's working, would you stop it? If you and you know, there's a comment in the comments right now, I think from a Cowboys fan. I can't. And there we go. Eternal said, don't forget the 4th down.
Kareem Sawyer, you can never get me. Let me get him, Joe. You ain't getting me.
But no, Eternal said, don't forget the 4th down that we didn't get because we put it in Rush's hands. That's the opposite of doing what you're good at. So I feel like I understand maybe. I don't think that it says that we don't trust Jalen Hurts, because a lot of those runs were Jalen Hurts decisions. Those were you're either going to keep it or you're going to hand it off. So he still had to do his work. It's not like he just, didn't go out on the field and, let's baby this guy.
I'm not hating on his performance. That was
I'm not saying you are. I'm not saying you are.
Yeah, and just Eagles fans. Like this guy, Hurts beat Rodgers. Dak hadn't beat Rodgers in 7 seasons. Yes, he did. He beat him in 2016. So know what you're talking about. He beat him in 2016. And here's the thing. You played a Rodgers with a messed up hand, cracked up ribs. Okay, so stop that. So, but I'm not taking anything away. But at the end of the day,
we messed his ribs up.
I'm saying, but Hurts, I'm not taking anything away. Hurts played like a dog. I'm not taking away anything. 150 yards rushing, 100-some yards passing. That's doggish to me. I watch high school quarterbacks that do that, college quarterbacks that do that. That is kind of like the way it's going, because we don't hate on Lamar Jackson when he does it right. We don't hate on Lamar Jackson when he's running and throwing. We didn't hate on Michael Vick when he was running and throwing. So trust me, I don't hate on Jalen Hurts when he's running and throwing. I think that's one of his assets, and that's what I feel like the Cowboys have to really focus on is that game with him, because I want him to be able to throw. I want Hurts to beat us throwing the ball. I want us to shut that run game down.
And that's what you want.
And then he's got to show us to throw the ball, because he's a nightmare if he can run the ball, because he changes the whole game. You get what I'm saying? And I'm not disrespecting that. So I don't disrespect no Hurts when I'm saying that. But at the end of the day, He's still got to show it in this Cowboys game because he hasn't shown it yet, Joe. He hasn't beat Prescott yet.
Yeah, see, I see a lot of people in the comments talk about, he's a running back, this and that. At the end of the day, go out there and win a freaking game. That's all I care about.
No,
that's what I'm saying. That's all I care about. But everything you said is right. Everything you said is right. If you look back, right, you look at let's think. Even a Michael Vick. Somebody just brought up Michael Vick. You look at a Michael Vick, even though he had a freakishly good arm as well. But the way to beat him was to take away his running ability, right? You look at a Lamar Jackson. He's also a very good thrower. Don't get me wrong, and I'm not taking away what he can do with his arm. But the way to beat him in most times is either wait till the fourth quarter or just take away his running ability. That's a very big part of these young guys' game plan and game in general. So you saying that, in my opinion, is not a knock. It's the truth. It's what coaches are thinking. That's what coaches are thinking the night before playing the Eagles, is we can't let Jalen Hurts run all over us. So I don't take it as a knock so much as that's true. That is that is what you have to be worried about with the Eagles. And that's smart for you to be thinking about that. Real quick, I just want to get, because we kind of have a couple, I just want to catch up before we get too far behind. But Rev Rebel sent a $2 super chat earlier, said, let's go BGJ and Joe turn up. Yeah, you already know. We kind of came in here hot.
We came in here hot, but it was good. We came in here hot. I loved it.
Shout out to Eternal Dynasty, said he gave you a $4.99 super chat, so that's for you.
Okay, appreciate you. Brown was our number 2 when Gallup was out for 6 weeks. So add Gallup and Brown's receptions, then that's the difference between the 1 and 2. You can say that because remember, Michael Gallup didn't start the season. Remember that, Joe. Michael Gallup was on injured reserve. Noah Brown was our guy. Michael Gallup came back in week 4, right? Yeah. And so think about this, Joe. From week 4 to what is it? Week what we at week now?
So week 12, 13, week 13.
Week 13,
I think.
So that's 9 weeks, 40 receptions. Not bad. It didn't play the whole year, Joe.
Yeah, 9 weeks, and Dallas Goedert has 43 in 9 weeks. So, I feel you.
But he ain't been hurt. He ain't been hurt, though.
I was trying to get that point out, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, but this for you as well.
So he says, so a starting QB doesn't matter in the game? Dumb. I don't know about that. No, starting quarterback definitely does matter. But
I think he was talking about me because I was talking Chuck about y'all haven't had a rush.
What do you say? So this is my super chat too, right?
Yeah. This is the last
one. Ooh, I appreciate y'all hollers. That's a $2 holler. Appreciate y'all. CD Lamb, a better receiver, right, than Brown. Yeah, we know that. But like I said, you said there's not a clear-cut difference between A.J. Brown and a Devontae Smith, right? There's a clear-cut difference in Dallas between a CD Lamb and a Michael Gallup. That's all I'm saying. And Michael Gallup didn't start the season playing at the beginning of the year. And he was coming back from an ACL injury. Like I know, ACL injuries, Joe, you're not going to come back, hit the ground running. And honestly, they probably pushed him a little before, because if you looked at his first 2 games, he was not ready. He's just now rounding into shape. I feel like they were forcing him because they want to prove that he's ready. I know the Cowboys, but at the end of the day, I'm gonna just say this, Joe. We got 6 games at the end of the season left, right? And we see y'all on Christmas Eve. I'm ready for it. You guys are 10-1. We're 8-3 right now. I definitely feel like we can definitely bang with you. Y'all haven't really beat us with Dak. So I feel like the pressure's on y'all to prove something, not us. We've been beat y'all with Dak multiple times. Jalen Hurts has on his back with Dak because I believe he's 0-2 against Dak right now. So he's having an MVP type season. He has to show he's the MVP type player against Dallas. And what's the best way to do it, right, Joe? To come into Dallas and play an MVP type game. So if you're saying MVP, that's the game for him to show right there to me.
Yeah, I think if I'm being 100% honest, I feel like Dallas, the last thing that y'all are holding on to is the fact that we haven't really had a great, record against Dak Prescott. And I don't think that the rest of your team changed that much from the last time we played you. And if anything, I think that we've gotten better. Yes, we did. We've definitely gotten better. We've gotten better too. We've added Linval
Robert Quinn ain't
Joseph,
did nothing with y'all.
Robert
Linval
Quinn
Joseph
honestly
and y'all
hasn't done anything. I
he ain't did nothing.
I can't even
And
defend
so,
that. I'm not gonna lie.
and you added Adamakin Sue and Linval Joseph, and
Yeah, they've
that
been
team run on
impactful.
y'all?
They've
Did they
been
run on y'all?
impactful. They've
Did
been
Green Bay
impactful.
run on y'all? Did Green Bay run
A
on
little
y'all?
bit, not that much. Not that much.
Yeah,
I think
they
they had a
did.
104.
Because
No, they didn't.
they
They've
run
had like
on.
200
We definitely
yards
run on
against
y'all.
you guys. They had like 200
Who?
yards against you guys. We only gave up like 100 yards. Green Bay had like 200 yards against you guys rushing the ball. We only gave up like 100.
We're not talking about it. Okay, but y'all
Yeah.
Yo, Linval
But no,
Joseph. First of all,
impactful.
Linval Joseph was a cast off. Okay, he was with the Vikings. He was with the Chargers. Linval Joseph ain't the Linval Joseph like he used to be. Neither is Adamakin Sue. Yes, they it does give a good rotation, but they're not stout like that, and we can still run on y'all. We got a great 1-2 combo. So let's see.
We'll see. I don't know if it's not just about our defensive line; it's about our linebackers as well.
We've only
Eternal
given up
Dynasty
14
says
sacks.
I got.
You understand that?
Eternal said he got the same amount of sacks
number 1
as
in the
Quinn.
league. We're number 1 in the league in sacks given up at 14.
We'll change that.
Number 1 in the
we got
league.
you.
With your
offensive line, you sound disappointed in that. We got you. We'll change that up for you, dog.
I'm not disappointed. You said your offensive line was the best in the league. We've only given up 14 sacks for you having the best offensive line in the league.
No, I respect that. I mean, look, though, I'll be honest with you right now.
Our defensive line is number 1 in sacks.
Been kind of up and down.
Our defensive line
been up and down. At the end of the day, we number 1 in wins. I think that kind of trumps everything. We are number 1 overall in wins.
Sacks,
you know what I'm saying?
We're number 1 in sacks.
Hey, we scored more points than the other team more times than any other NFL team, including yours.
Including yours. Jeff Saturday.
Hey, we won. Y'all didn't escape. Y'all didn't escape certain games. Y'all better blow the Indianapolis Colts out this week. Y'all better blow them out.
Y'all didn't blow them out.
Because the way you're talking like we escaped them, y'all better blow them out. Y'all better blow the doors off them boys.
Okay, well, you mean Nick Sirianni was talking all that trash and he was scared. He was biting on his nails. He was hyped. Damn game to the end.
He was hyped.
It was a little weird. You a damn liar.
I mean, I'm hyped for him. I'm happy for him.
I watched the game. He was scared.
If you went to your old job, you would want to be on some ish too. If you went to your old job, you would be on some ish too.
He was scared.
It was a little weird him doing that whole. This was from Frank.
He's one of them dudes listen to rap. He's one of them listen to rap music and rapping all the. Do you know what Nick Sirianni is? Hey y'all, this is Nick Sirianni. He's the dude that's listening to the rap music in his car, rapping all the hard lyrics, throwing his hands up, woo, and it was somebody put next to him like, "What you looking at?"
Yeah, no.
Drive away.
Yeah, you hate it. Y'all be hating on my coach. I don't know why y'all hate on my coach. Like Mike McCarthy, big self ain't doing nothing. Mike McCarthy ain't tough.
McCarthy's a damn good
McCarthy wasn't he in a barn before y'all hired him?
Mike McCarthy will.
My boy was in a barn talking to horses, and you trying to tell me he's more of a tough guy? Nick Sirianni would knock Mike McCarthy out in one punch. One punch.
Soft as hell. You a damn lie.
Nick Sirianni would straight up knock him out. I'm telling you, Nick Sirianni would knock him out.
Like Loftus, Nick Sirianni would not do nothing. Mike McCarthy would stomp him. He's even. I mean,
I would give. Maybe Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn looked like he could fight a little bit. Maybe he would have a shot.
You should put Dan Quinn up, bro. Looks are deceiving.
Mike McCarthy can't fight, bro. Mike McCarthy can't fight.
I'm not going to see. That's the thing. The ones that you always say they can't fight, them the ones can't fight. You try to say Nick Sirianni can fight. You just saying that because he's a Philadelphia.
I don't even know if he can fight, but he got heart.
You know he can't fight.
I don't think Mike McCarthy got no heart. I think if Mike
Nick
McCarthy
Sirianni is soft, bro.
It's a wrap.
If you saw Nick Sirianni in the club, okay. Joe lying because if Joe saw Nick Sirianni in the club, like a bus.
I would not, man. I would have.
Yeah, Joe, you would marry Nick Sirianni.
If I'm at the club, and I have to pick who's going to fight with me,
could you knock your coach out?
I can knock both of them out. I mean, I can knock both of them out. I ain't worried about neither. But nah, Nick Sirianni looked like he would fight back though. Mike McCarthy looked like he would just take that punch and run.
No way.
He would. Mike McCarthy looked like he fights a chicken every episode. Like
Mike McCarthy would not run. You a damn lie. Mike McCarthy looked like if you hit him, he gonna get mad as shit and try to bear hug you and slam you on the ground. You a damn lie. Nick Sirianni's calling the cops.
First 48. He a first 48. I already know. I already know. Mike McCarthy's soft, bro. Like, there ain't no way. This is the most random argument that we have going for like the past 2 weeks now. But there's no convincing me that Mike McCarthy could win in a fight against me nor Nick Sirianni.
In this chatter, y'all are lying. Y'all not real motherfuckers. No, I'm gonna just say motherfuckers. I don't cuss on here, but y'all not real motherfuckers. There's no way.
There's no way.
Nick Sirianni is soft, bruh. I will slap the shit
out
of
Nick Sirianni. Is not soft. How is Nick Sirianni? So he
out of him.
He be looking like he want to knock out them.
He ain't knocking out nothing.
Is it
look like the dude that go to the gym looking at himself? No, he look like the dude that goes into the gym kissing his girlfriend every 2 seconds because he's insecure that people are looking at him.
Mike McCarthy look like he don't even know what a gym is.
No. I just said that. You just heard what I said. Nick Sirianni is the guy that goes to the gym kissing his girlfriend every 2 seconds. He's that dude because he's insecure. He's worried about looking at her. And Nick Sirianni is also the guy that goes to the gym and he takes pictures of himself in the gym every 2 seconds. He try to pose and stuff. He lost fast as baby cakes.
He said, all right, so I just want to read a couple just because some of these are actually funny as hell. He said, Mike
y'all be faking reviews. Like you know you gonna
I knew you he said I'm faking I knew he said Joe be faking views. I know, I was gonna read that. Joe be faking for views. I knew you was
gonna read that. That's a lie. That's cap. Sorry, Kyler. That's my dog. That's cap. I ain't gonna agree with you.
He said Sirianni looked like he would press charges. Bro, y'all not gonna go after my dog like that. Nah, y'all not going after my dog like that.
Yeah, he is.
Y'all not going after my dog like that.
Because he's your coach. He knows it.
Mike
Joe's
McCarthy
not gonna make it on live air.
Got hurt.
Mike McCarthy was slap the shit out of him.
Hurt. Mike McCarthy, I would knock Mike McCarthy out. I would smack the and this would never happen. So I hope they don't like ban us off YouTube, man. I listen, man.
You just lying.
I'm a peaceful guy.
I'm gonna let it go.
Peaceful guy.
You're right. But you lying.
So you think Mike McCarthy could beat me up?
Hey,
you think Mike McCarthy
no, I'm not saying that at all. I'm not even talking about that. But I'm like old girl on Friday. You lying, Craig. You lying when you talking about Nick Sirianni tough. You lying, Craig.
I don't say he's tough, but I say he's passionate. I feel like he's got heart. I won't say he's a tough guy.
There's nothing wrong with being passionate. He's soft as hell. So stop. He's soft as hell.
He's not softer than Mike McCarthy. I don't think he's soft at all. So I'm not gonna say softer, but he's not soft.
Only reason why
your boy Mike McCarthy.
His last name is Sirianni, so I feel like he got some mob ties. I ain't disrespecting.
He probably do. That's what I'm saying. Sirianni gonna come on the show and talk to you, bro.
That's the only.
Sirianni gonna come on here and talk to you, bro. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna get him on here. Watch. You say you call him soft to his face.
Go ahead. I will. He only gonna
if you saw him in the club.
If I saw Sirianni, yeah, I would.
You would not do nothing. Sirianni would be.
First of all,
Sirianni would be
don't do that to me, Joe. You don't know me because I ain't scared of nobody, bro.
It's true.
I don't care, big or small. Don't do that to me, Joe. I don't care who.
Mike McCarthy is the dude, though. Mike McCarthy is the type of dude you would see in the corner.
I'm not scared of no Nick Sirianni, so don't do that.
No, I feel you. Yeah, just same way with it. That's why I couldn't even say Sirianni. I would be afraid to see him in the club. But at the end of the day, I just think he got heart. I know he's passionate. I know he's kind of wild. He kind of goes, he ODs sometimes. He does some things that are kind of weird, but I love it. I love it. I love it. Mike McCarthy don't do nothing but like talk to animals in the barn that he was in. So I don't know. I like my guy. I like my guy. I like my guy.
You all bark. Hush up, Marty Mush.
Yeah, I said it. All right, so last couple minutes, I want to ask you
stuff on internet.
I want to ask you about the Colts, man. How you feel about these Colts? What are you thinking, man? How do you feel the Eagles the Cowboys got to attack these Colts? And are you worried?
Who do y'all play?
I mean, he has done good.
The only thing I'm looking at with these Colts is Jonathan Taylor. Yeah, Jonathan Taylor. That's the only thing I'm looking at. Because our run game is still suspect. We're still giving up 4.7 yards a carry. We're like one of the worst teams. Sure, guy. Sure, never in your life, bruh. You talking good. But anyway, I had to lose my train of thought because goofy. But no, what I'm saying is 4.7 yards to carry. We've been giving up like 23. We're like 23 ranked like in the league in run defense. So that's been my thing the whole year. You feel me, dog? Is run defense. Yeah. So that's the only thing standing out in my mind because they just lost their last game and Jonathan Taylor didn't do anything. they're probably going to force feed a Jonathan Taylor. You feel me? They're probably going to force feed him. So if they force feed him, Dallas has to step up because you got him back there. He's a statue. We would kill them. You feel what I'm saying? We'll kill them in that backfield, getting after them. So to me, I feel good about the Colts. We stop Jonathan Taylor. We blow them out.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. And you asked about who we got. We got Tennessee, so it's gonna be the same story. It's gonna be the same exact story that you just said. Yeah, we got
Derrick Henry.
If we can stop Derrick Henry.
Honestly, they got a good D. They got good D though.
They got a good
Titans
team. They got a good team. They're well coached.
They got a good. Yeah, they got a good strong team, dog.
They're not an easy win. To me, it comes down to this. Obviously, this would be a good win for us. They are 7-4. They're not a bad team, and like I said, they are a well coached team. Win. But I will say, just the running aspect of it, if we could slow down Derrick Henry, if he has like a $110, I'm calling that a win right now. Like,
I mean, Cincinnati shut him down, and they run, and their defense ain't great. Yeah. He had 12 carries for 38 yards. You saw. Yeah. You feel what I'm saying?
So that's what I'm saying. So, if we can make sure he's not the reason that we lose, and we can go out there and steal another win, not even steal, if we can just go out there and play our type of game, because at the end of the day, we are a good running team as well. And the way that we dictate the game with our running game is by just holding on to the ball, doing those 11, 12 play drives, and just taking your offense off the field for a quarter. So that's what we're going to have to do. We're going to have to take Derrick Henry off the field when he's on there. And when our offense is on there, we're going to have to keep him on the off the field. So that's really what it comes down to. This is a big game for us. This is probably our best opponent. I mean, I guess you could say the Minnesota Vikings, right? But I would say that this is probably like our best all-around team that we've played all season. So I think it's a big game for us. I don't think enough people are going to really say that, but I do think it's a really big game for the Eagles. They got to go out there and prove that they're a playoff team, because I'm pretty sure that the Titans are going to be there come, playoff time. So this is a big game for us. I'm excited, though. I think the Eagles can prove a lot of people wrong. So let's get it. Fly, Eagles, fly.
There it is.
Yeah,
I mean,
go Birds.
Like I said, hey, go Birds, go Cowboys. We'll see. I'm ready for that matchup at the end of, toward the end of the year. As I said the last 4 games, Joe, are going to be critical for Dallas. We play Jacksonville. I said, don't sleep on them, because we play you guys right after that. So I don't want the Cowboys to look past Jacksonville, because Doug Peterson is a damn good coach, and that could be a sneaky game where they can sneak up and beat us. So don't look past the Jacksonville Jaguars. Play against you guys. I want to have us at full health. I want you guys at full health, and how that happens. And then you got the Tennessee Titans right after that. Derrick Henry and that toughness. We're got to be battle tested with that run defense. That's going to be huge. Washington Commanders, they're playing for their playoff lives. That's going to be huge. So Dallas didn't go into the season at the end of the season last year. You know what I'm saying? Before that. So these last 3 games, that's going to be huge. If you can win those last 3 games and go into the playoffs feeling good about yourselves winning, because that didn't happen last year, then momentum is everything, Joe. You got to be winning before you go into the playoffs. You don't want to go into the playoffs losing games, just like in Philadelphia. If you were winning all year and then you win the playoffs in the last couple of games, we've seen teams win all year and then lose a couple games at the end of the year, and they lose in the first round. We've seen it. That momentum is everything. So at the end of the season, with those last 4 games, especially those last 3, is going to be huge, and how that happens is going to be big.
Yeah, I think it's going to be fun, man. This is, as much as I hate the Cowboys, and I'm sure you hate the Eagles, as much as we don't like the Giants and we don't like Washington, it does feel good that we're all actually competitive, that every game in the NFC East is an actual really good game. Like, it does feel good that it feels like the future of every single team, with the exception of the Cowboys, but that could be like a whole hour in itself. I do got my own theories, but we've talked about that. But either way, it feels like the future of every team in the NFC East is bright. It feels like the NFC East is going to be the beast that we are used to it being for a while. So I'm happy about that. I think that this weekend is going to be a very, very fun weekend for the NFC East and the NFC in general. But I'm waiting for the Vikings to lose a couple games, and then it really does matter between the Eagles and the Cowboys, because I really don't see the Vikings being that number 1 or even number 2 team. I think it's going to be us, to be honest, even though that kind of pains me to say. But
that's fine. I mean, here's my thing. If y'all win the East, that's cool. I said Dallas was going to be 12-5, right? We gave our predictions. Where did you have the Cow? It's crazy
I
because
had
where
him
did
at
you have the
14 and
Eagles?
3.
You had
I
them
had
at
him at
14
14
and
and
3.
3.
That's dope because
And
I had the
people was
Cowboys at
calling me
12.
crazy.
Right.
People was calling me crazy, bro.
Right. Hey, I got to give you props on that, Joe, because you said 14 and 3, and you guys are 10 and 1 right now. So you might be fully on point and what you calling, and I could be fully on point what I'm calling. I said
Facts.
12-5. You get what I'm saying? We 8 and 3. So we could both be right on what we said. So like I said, this is going to be a very interesting season. But if we're really keeping it a buck, Eagles and Cowboys, this is your best opportunity to win a Super Bowl right now, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Facts. That's a
Because
big storyline.
you got
right
the
there.
Buccaneers, because you got the Buccaneers who are 5 and 6. You got the
Yep.
Packers who are 4 and 7. And those are two nemesis with Aaron Rodgers and Tampa Bay who might not even be there. You feel me? So, not saying it's an easier route, but it can happen. You know what I mean? If you have a Washington or a Giants, we've been familiar with those guys. So if you're saying this is the best route for you to get to the Super Bowl, Eagles, Cowboys, this is it right here for both of us.
Yeah, we're gonna see what happens, man. I'm excited. Yeah, I think that's where we got to talk about next week, like in depth, especially when we see where these teams go, because we do got to talk about this. I think the Eagles, I think you said it perfectly. I'm only gonna mimic what you said. This is the best opportunity for both our teams to go out there and win a Super Bowl, and I think that the Eagles have seen that, and I think that the Cowboys are seeing that as well. So I'm hyped, man. I'm hyped for this weekend. What do you got going on tonight? Do you got final word or anything going on after this?
Final word, not tonight. Everybody's been asking. Sorry for all my Cowboys fans. No final word tonight. My dog, Boss Cowboys, and Law are networking right now, so they're trying to get some more business, get some things popping for the final word and other things. So salutes to them. Hey, we'll be right back at it next week. I dropped a show earlier today. Go check that out. Basically saying, hey, the Cowboys is here. I want to read one thing to you, Joe, before I get off of here.
Yeah, of course.
And this is from Todd Archer, our beat writer for the Cowboys. And this is just what I really feel. He said this 100% for me. You know, Cowboys are 4th in the power rankings. ESPN probably in the top 5 in power rankings. Realistic expectation right now, getting to the Super Bowl. And this is what he says, Joe. It says, why not? Cowboys are 8 and 3. They beat both of the last year's Super Bowl teams. They won Minnesota. They get a chance to show how good they can be with the Christmas Eve meeting against the Eagles. Facts. They have a top defense. True. They have a running game that can control the tempo of the game. That's a fact. They have a passing game that has improved. What they don't have is a history of rising to the occasion. Facts. What they don't have is a history of rising to the occasion. That doesn't mean they can't, because we don't know, right? There is no reason to fear any of the heavy hitters in the NFC, and it's not hate on anybody, but that's the truth. If you look at the Philadelphia Eagles, you would probably say the same, that this is the best time for us to get to a Super Bowl because there's no heavy hitters in the NFC.
Definitely. Yeah, I think the Eagles, the way that we're built, and especially if you look at our defense, we have a lot of one-year contracts. There's a lot of people that may not be here next year, to be honest. So
right.
it is definitely. And my Eagles community does not want me to talk about that, so I really don't bring it up. Like I made a video today talking about a little bit of like off season, what might happen, and people were like, it's week 12, right, Joe? It's not even us. So I was like, all right, I get it. I see what you're trying to say, but no, it is true. It's kind of crazy to step back, even from the Eagles, even from the Cowboys, as a fan, and look at the state of the NFL and see how far forward or far back it's taken a step, depending on where you're standing, I guess. Like if you're one of those guys that, sentimentalizes over all the, vets and the legends of the game, then you're probably sitting there like, damn, it sucks that I might not see Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady in the playoffs.
That don't suck. Bye.
Yeah, I'm cool with it. I'm like,
we want to see fresh blood, right?
Future.
We want to see new blood.
Exactly.
It's fresh blood. We want to see the new guys. We want to see the Dak Prescotts, the Jalen Hurts. We want to see the young guys in there. We're tired of seeing those old guys. The Drew Brees every single damn year. We're done with those guys. Bye. See you later. Let's have some new exciting playoffs. So I like this. But let me get this super chat out here, because this is a shout out to you. Christian Garcia, $5 holla, says, all I want to say is Cowboys were counted out when Dak went down. We're 8 and 3. Joe, salute, bro. You're an Eagles fan. I actually salute to you, big dog.
My God, I appreciate that. I appreciate that, man.
Respect.
Yeah, I don't like none of y'all Cowboys fans. I'm just kidding.
He does. He loves us.
But it's true, man. I think it's gonna be interesting. But listen, we about to get out of here, man.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the Eagles are in a great position. I think that the Cowboys are in a great position. I think that the NFC East is in a great position for a while. So we're going to see what happens, and we're going to see how it all plays out. But you got anything you want to say to the beautiful people? We got 100 people still in here. Shout out to everybody man, for tuning in.
Shout out to everybody in the chat. Hey, shout out to everybody in the chat, even the shit talkers. That's all good. I'm going to talk shit back to you. Just let you know. Don't take
facts.
it personal. I won't take it personal. I don't take it personal. Don't take it personal with me. But if trash with me, you best believe I'm gonna talk it and bring it back with you. I just want to say that first of all. But I appreciate everybody in the chat. I love all y'all. Appreciate everybody supporting us. Way we've been doing at the beginning. Well, we did this like 5-6 months ago, Joe, and we've been banging this, man. It's been awesome. The growth, because when we first started this, it was very small, right? It was small. Nobody was really catching on to it. But we really grew this thing. It's been an awesome thing to do. Just want to appreciate also that we've got on Joe's channel, podcast Castro, and support Big Game James, and how we've been doing the best of enemies. It's been truly dynamic. We've been having great hosts. It's been great shows, and we've been I just love the support you guys have given us, and keep on supporting us, keep on making us top. You know how we're doing this. It's going to be another exciting, and make sure, Joe, we do another live podcast like in our game last time. Make sure we're live and do this game, because this game gonna be huge. So make sure we're doing that live game, and make sure y'all all in the building, because we had a great time when we did it last time. That was fun as hell. So just appreciate all y'all support, man, and just keep on going. Eagles, Cowboys, let's do this, man.
Yes, sir. Yeah, it was a little bit more fun for us, but no, it was it was a lot of fun.
Man, it's fun shout for out us, to Rev. We 8-3, bro.
Shout out to Rev.
Yeah, like we 5 and 6.
Stop it. Y'all lied, man. It is what it is. Yeah, but we won that game. We won that game. So it was a lot.
With Cooper Rush.
Shout out to Rev Rubble, man, with the $4 super chat. He said, "We coming for y'all, Joe. Christmas playoffs.
It's coming.
It's coming. I ain't scared.
I know you ain't scared. You ain't got to be scared to die.
I ain't scared. I ain't scared at all. But I do appreciate everybody, man. And I appreciate everybody tuned in. Be sure to hit that like, hit that subscribe, join the family. But as always, I am Joe. That is James. And we are the best of enemies. Peace.
We're brothers. We're happy and we're